My story took place about 10 years ago. My friend Jake and I grew up together. We were best friends for as long as I can remember. We always sat by each other at school. We hanged out during recess. We played video games together. We were very, very close. We even decided to go to the same college together. I thought Jake could have gotten into a much better school than me, but like me, he wanted us to have the experience together. When the time came for us to leave for college, we left a few days before we had to be there and made it into a road trip. We gave ourselves 3 days worth of driving to get there. Now, neither Jake nor me had ever driven that long of distance before, so it was quite an adventure. We thought it would be cool to see some of the countryside before having to buckle down and study. The second day, we were driving through the mountains. It was a new experience too, because I'd never done it. I think I felt sick a lot of the time, and likely had to do with the elevation. However, towards the end of the day, something went wrong with the car. I was driving and it suddenly seized up. I had trouble even getting it off the road. Jake and I couldn't really figure out what to do with the car. It was beyond our expertise. We were also in a bad area as far as cell phone signals were concerned. We didn't know how far away we were from a gas station either. So we decided that one of us would hitchhike to a gas station and get some help. All of our belongings were in the car and in the trailer to the car, so one of us had to stick with the car. Jake decided that he would be the one to go and find help. It took a while before a car picked him up. By that point, there wasn't much sunlight left, so I just sat in the driver's seat and waited. The sun went down. A state trooper at one point pulled up to the car and I had a chat with him. I let him know what was going on and that my friend had hitchhiked a ride to try and get help. He took some information and said he would drive to the gas station to see if my friend had gotten there. Apparently, about 30 miles away, there was a gas station with a garage, and they could have towed our car for us. The officer asked how long I had been waiting, and I let him know at that point it had been over 3 hours. This would have been enough time for the car with my friend to go to the gas station, get the tow truck, and be back 3 times over. When the officer left, I was concerned. When the officer was gone a long time, I was more concerned. It was dark out, and for the first time, I truly felt alone. It was an odd, unpleasant feeling, but also sort of felt like I didn't want the officer to come back because I somehow knew it would be bad news. It was nearly 2 hours later that the officer came back. He had the tow truck with him, and I was relieved. I was sure that Jake was with them. However, when the officer came to my car, Jake wasn't with them. He informed me that no one had stopped at the gas station to get a tow. He also checked to see if anyone had seen the car with Jake in it. No one was able to pull it up from memory. The car was towed. While it was being worked on, I had to go to the police station and file a report. They had to call Jake's parents and let them know he was missing. I got a motel room in the area. I put off the trip because I was worried about my friend. I spent 4 days in that motel, freaked out and worried I would never see my friend Jake again. Finally, the police came to talk to me. The car that Jake had gotten a ride in was found in a grocery store parking lot. Jake was in the trunk. He was naked, beaten, bloody and unconscious, but he was still alive. He was in a coma for about a month before he gained consciousness again. And even after that, it was weeks before he was able to recognize me, or anyone even longer before he was able to recall what had happened. I don't want to go into too much detail, but the people that had picked him up had stolen the car they were driving. They robbed him of his money and credit cards and cell phone. It was actually due to the credit cards that they were eventually caught. There were 2 men, and one of them is still in jail. Didn't go to college that year, but I'm happy to tell you that the following autumn, Jake and I finally made it to college together. This time, however, we flew, and his parents came with us. We spent all 4 years roomed together, and are still best friends to this day. Hitchhiking for any reason is a really bad idea. If Jake and I had waited, the officer would have eventually come upon us, and my friend would have never had this happen to him.